to go through. Sheikh, what about praying in a masjid which has a grave inside?
When we go back to the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ clearly forbade that. And he said, لعن الله اليهود والنصارى اتخذوا قبور أنبيائهم وصالحيهم مساجد ألا وإني أنهاكم عن ذلك. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursed the Jews and the Christians when they took the graves of their prophets and the righteous people as masajid, as places of worship. Then he said, I forbade you from this. So it's clear statement from the Prophet ﷺ that he forbade his ummah from taking the masajid as places of worship of other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or places of graves for human beings. So that's not permissible. And the Prophet ﷺ also said, لا تجعلوا بيوتكم قبور. Pray in your homes, do not make your homes as graves, because the graves are no salah in it. So to build a masjid on top of a grave, this is with consensus among the ulama, this is not permissible. And for a Muslim to pray in these masajid, it is not permissible according to the correct opinion of the majority of the ulama. Even if a person doesn't find any masjid by this masjid, pray at home is better for you than to pray in a masjid where there's a grave. And always the shubha or the doubtful method that people say, how about the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ? The masjid of the Prophet ﷺ is a different situation, because the Prophet ﷺ was not put in the grave in the masjid. He was not buried in the masjid, ﷺ. He was buried in his house.
So that's his house?
That's his house, that's not the masjid.
So,
and the extension that happened, that's not by the order of the Prophet ﷺ. That's not by the order of Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali. So it's not deen. So it's not valid for someone to say that's an evidence. When we say evidence, that means what? It means we're referring to the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ and the rightly guided Khalifa, Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali. Nothing of that you would find that this is an evidence. So what come after that, it's not an evidence that this is permissible or not permissible. But it becomes the reality. And that's why we have virtues of praying in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. So that's why we go there and we travel to pray in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ was not buried in the masjid. But other than that, you would find all over the Muslim world, the masajid are being built on top of these graves, or a grave would come and enter into the masjid. And the evil acts of shirk that you would see that. People making tawaf around these qubur, around these graves. Wiping things over the grave, asking directly from the person in the grave. What is the difference between that and the disbelief of the people of Quraysh at the time of the Prophet ﷺ? No differences whatsoever. And it doesn't matter if a person says, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, if it doesn't mean anything. It's an act of worship being done to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.